이제 모아 타파레 노이네 아무모 아메노 라티레 모 노이네.
Bonjour everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new video in which we're going to talk a little bit about the T-22 medium, aka probably one of the most broken medium tanks at tier 10. And especially how it's broken, how it's even more broken I should say, when you combine it with another one in Platoon. There are several things you need to understand about this tank. First of all, it's a collector that doesn't have the premium status, which means that yes, when you have the tank in the game it will appear blue in your garage, but you will not make credits with it. It doesn't have that special credit coefficient that the Chieftain MK6, the T-95E6, the Badger and all the other tanks have. And Wargaming did that on purpose to limit the number of players wanting to get that tank and farming as much credits as they can with it, because if it was one of those tanks that makes quite a lot of credits, it would be really easy for us to grind and just spam the shit out of that tank in regular battles, making tier 10 completely unplayable. Because yes, when you feature quite a lot of those tanks on the battlefield, it becomes unplayable. This tank has several features that are making it broken. Out of all the Russian mediums that already have the greatest guns at tier 10, this one has the best, which implies that this tank has literally the best gun at tier 10 when it comes to mediums. A good gun depression, an extremely good reload time, a really good penetration, and one of the greatest accuracy ever. It's just a born sniper, which makes it quite frightening for your opponents. Now, other things to notice is the armor profile, because the T-22 medium out of all the tanks at tier 10 is the one that has the biggest side armor, at least concerning the mediums. And this makes it a terrible challenger when it comes to side scraping. With this tank, if you side scrape correctly, nothing will be able to penetrate you, not even Hori playing with gold shell. Which should tell you a lot about how special, let's say, the armor is. Now, for the rest, if you combine it with another T-22 medium, it becomes even more worse. For example, here, it can become more worse, it becomes worse, sorry. Here, for example, we're playing with two T-22 medium in Platoon. Shout out to Skills that played with me for this one. And yeah, we didn't really struggle on this one because we played quite aggressively, and as we played quite aggressively, we just wrecked the whole freaking enemy team. And that's totally logic, because when you have two good players playing this tank in Platoon with vocal chat, so they are playing with each other, in a 7 versus 7 match, you have quite a lot of impact. It's not like World of Tanks PC where you have less impact, let's say, and you can just get wrecked even if you're playing two broken tanks. Here in Blitz, a good platoon with good players playing good tanks has a huge impact on the outcome of the battle. And I'm gonna show you that right now with the post statistics result, because oh boy, are we running the game from the start to the end. Just look at this. 4.1k damage for me and 3.5k for Skills. This is definitely one hell of a game and one hell of a platoon. Concerning the second game, we're playing with World of Tanks Blitz Show. I think you already know who it is, the YouTuber. And yeah, we had another great game as well. But the real question, now that we talked about the statistics of this tank, is it fair from Wargaming to allow these kind of things to be in Platoon? Let me explain. What I mean by that is, usually when a tank comes back in the shop after being in crates, which was the case of the T-22 medium, it comes back in a direct bundle. They did that, Wargaming did that, they do it not so much, they do it around Blitz Fair or things like that to put it in direct bundle, but most of the time that tank is coming back in crates. Why? Because Wargaming knows the T-22 medium is special and kind of broken. And this is why, to maximize their profit without completely destroying the matchmaking by allowing everybody to get it in direct bundle, they would rather sell it back in crates. So Wargaming is already aware that this tank is broken, and the way they sell it shows that. But what about Platoon? Is it really fair to allow people to Platoon with those kind of tanks? What do you guys think? In my opinion, because you can't have a one-sided opinion here, you have to see the for arguments and the against argument. For the favorable arguments to let people play those tanks, I mean, those tanks, they were bought by players because they want to have fun with it. And it would be strange for Wargaming to restrict your fun by not allowing you to play twice with two same tanks in a platoon. I mean, if they do that, they would have to remove the Smasher platoons, the Annihilator platoons, etc, etc. And this is something Wargaming will never do, because otherwise it would go against their policy and it would be a direct attack to our freedom of play, let's say. But on the other hand, those tanks have a huge impact on the battlefield, and they can really overturn a situation, which makes it completely unfair for the opponents, especially when the two people playing the T-22 mediums know what they're doing. So yeah, in the end it's pretty cancer, but all games have their downsides that you can't fight against. If Wargaming wanted to avoid that, they wouldn't have implemented the T-22 medium in the first place, or they would have maybe changed a little bit the statistics to make it more balanced, let's say. But I feel like Wargaming is trying that right now on the tier 10 collectibles, as when nowadays we have the Object 260 that just got released, and yes, it's completely broken in World of Tanks PC, but in Blitz it's definitely not broken. It's a really good tank if you know how to play it, and this changes everything, because the T-22 medium, yes, is ultimately one of the greatest tanks in the game and probably one of the most efficient, but when it comes to the 260, you're still team dependent, which implies that even if you're in a platoon with another 260, you will not be able to do as great as T-22 medium in platoon. So maybe Wargaming is changing their lead here. Maybe they're doing this on purpose, or maybe not. Maybe it was just a fail with the Object 260 and we are gonna have quite a lot of new broken tanks. I'm thinking about the 907 and all those kind of tanks in the game. We don't know, and we will have to wait to see. But I would like to have your opinion on that, guys. Would you rather block those kind of platoons or not? Might be interesting to have a good arguments in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, guys. If that's the case, feel free to subscribe, like, and share, and I'm gonna see you soon for a new one. Bye.